Hey guys, welcome back. I just wanted to do another walkthrough in the basement of the games since probably January, February. I made a video down here and a lot has changed. A lot of things have been moved around. I'm still going to remodel down here, so I'm going to have to move a bunch more stuff around, opening up a couple walls and stuff like that. I wanted to make this video. I had said I would make a video when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I had 1,000 subscribers, I believe it was on Saturday. I was at 998 Saturday morning, and Charlie from Overtime Arcade, he made a bunch of posts on his page, and also Jason from Delusional. He also put a post on his page, and they were able to get me over the 1,000 mark Saturday morning, so I really appreciate it, and I want to say thanks to both of them. And I also want to say thanks to everybody else who has subscribed and liked and watched and commented and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. I think I'm currently at 1,019 subscribers now, so never thought I'd hit it, especially as quick as I did. My first video was December 12th, and it's now, August 2nd, so I mean, I'm pretty impressed that it went that quickly. I didn't think it would. I never even thought I'd get 1,000 subscribers, but I'm very thankful, and I just want to thank everybody for watching and contributing and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and do a walkthrough. I'll try to explain all the games to you and what I've done to them, what games I've actually built, and what most of them are real restored games. There are a few games that I've built. So let's go, and we will start with, let's start over here. Let me get this tripod out of the way here. And let's start with Space Ace here. Now, Space Ace, this I built. I built this cabinet. I made my own control panel and all that. My buddy made a computer for this. This game is running Space Ace and Dragon's Lair. As you can see on the main menu screen here, it does have an LCD screen on it. I probably should have put a CRT in it. I still could put a CRT. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit here. Okay, maybe that'll help a little bit. I probably should put a CRT in here. Maybe one day I will. I don't know. I suck at this game, both of them. But anyways, if you want to pick Dragon's Lair or Space Ace, you can pick either one. I did the Space Ace artwork because you just don't see it as much, and I liked it better in my opinion. So basically, let's say you want to pick Dragon's Lair. What I did is I put switches behind these buttons. So if you push the button, I forget which side. Oh, I think I went the wrong one. Okay, it's this one. So if I push this button twice, once, and then it's going to say play. And then it'll go into the game. And he did a really good job on setting this up. It works very well, I think. But then again, I've never played the original one, so, it could be a little bit different. Obviously, I'm used to this one. So, wait for it to boot up here. So there you go, that's the Dragon's Lair. Now if you want to get out of it, you hit the back button, and I made this one, this coin return the back button. So if you hit that once, now we're back out to there. Let's hit it one more time. Now we're back out to let's go down to Space Ace, and then we're going to hit this button. And usually what I'll do is I'll just leave the game on Space Ace, and then if somebody's like, hey, do you have Dragon's Lair? I can just come over here and change it. So not very many people know that those do that. So now it's set to Space Ace. And this is what I usually just keep it on. The cutscene scenes between the videos on the original laser disc, they had, pretty good cutscene. I actually had him shorten them up for me. I didn't really like that as much, and I know that's how it's supposed to be, but I did have him shorten it up a little bit, so there's not a real big pause between scenes or anything like that. So that's Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. It is running on a computer. It does have the drawer. I built the drawer on the back of the cabinet and everything. It's built just like the original. The metal for the marquee I made, top and bottom. The marquee plexiglass, I got the marquee plexiglass from Escape Pod. He had some made at one point, so I was able to get the plexi from him. We did all our own artwork. We printed it all ourselves, so we didn't have to buy any of that stuff. Okay, next on the list is Wizard of War. You guys watched me restore this one. It's been working really well. Sounds and everything are working. The voices and everything seem to be working well, so.
Black Radar Warrior.
Okay, so that's Wizard of War. This game, I had 2 cabinets. This was the better of the 2 cabinets. This was a Superman. This game was converted into a Superman, and I obviously brought it back to a Wizard of War. I had to find all the parts. There were no parts available. The other cabinet I traded, and I'm going to have to think what I traded it for. Traded the Wizard of War cabinet not too long ago. I'm going to have to think about that. I don't know what I traded it for. But anyways, next one is Simpsons Bowling. I built this cabinet myself. This is running original Simpsons hardware. It's running an LCD, and it's got a little bit of a glitch up here. I think I need to put a resistor in the sink line to stop that from happening. I made the cabinet sides look like a bowling pin. Can't really see it in the dark down here, but kids really like that game. Hopefully this Wizard of War will be dead soon. Let me kill myself in a second here. Just run into this guy. I like Wizard of War, actually. I think it's a pretty fun game. So that should be over now. Okay, next in line here is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. This is a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. I don't know if there was a difference between 2 and 3, if they use the same cabinet or not, but inside it was a 2 that somebody converted to a 3. This is all up and running. Monitor runs really good. I think the black level might be a little off on the monitor. It looked like it might have been a little bit green, or maybe it's the black light above it. My buddy that does all the 3D printing had made me this little light up sign up here for Mortal Kombat. He also made this. And Bart Simpson on top of there. So that's what's in this room for now. So now we're going to go out to here. And let's go to this row first. This is an original Space Invaders running all original hardware, original monitor and everything. I didn't do anything to this game other than when I bought it, the power supply was not working. And I luckily had another power supply. I was able to rob some parts from it and get it to work. Cabinet's all original, never been restored or touched. Even the T-molding's original. A few bumps and bruises on the bottom, but not bad at all. Next to that, we have Galaga. Galaga was a full restore. Galaga is currently broken. One of the legs on one of the chips corroded away, and I'm going to have to send the board out to get repaired because I know how these Galaga boards are, and I know the traces are really finicky on these, and I'm just not even going to mess with it. So I'm just going to send that off. Asteroids, I'm having a problem with asteroids as well. When I let me see if I shut the coin door and let me turn the interlock switch on. It's all it's doing is beeping, so I got to figure out what's wrong with it. So I don't know what's wrong with that yet, so I got to work on that. Just haven't had a chance. I've been real busy. Next to that, we have Time Pilot. I've completely restored Time Pilot a few years ago. I can't remember when. I got the cabinet really cheap from my buddy. Maybe I paid $100 for it or something like that. It had the board and everything in it. Everything worked. The monitor didn't work. So I ended up having another, I think it's a 4600 in here, if I remember correctly. I don't know, it's been years, but that works really well. All my games I have high score saves on that I can put them on. Zaxxon, another game that I got really cheap. Believe it or not, it was a fuse and a few other little things, and I was able to get that up and running. Okay, next to that we have Fisherman's Bait, which a lot of people really like that game. I don't know how many people have actually played it. It actually has force feedback on the reel, and it has a button here to release your line, and also you have your crank here, and the crank does get harder as the fishes get bigger. I did build this cabinet. I am going to change this cabinet at some point. At some point, I'm going to build a little boat, like a little John boat, and I'm going to install it into it, and I'm going to put a couple oars next to it and stuff. I think it'll be really cool. Okay, next to that we have Carnival King, original cabinet that it came in. This actually has a 27-inch CRT monitor. The 25-inch that was in there, it literally blew up. I sent the chassis off to get repaired because I could not get it working. It came back, they said it was repaired. I hooked it up and it blew out again. The tube had a short in it. So I just happened to have a 27-inch CRT out of a Nicktoons Racing. And I'll tell you what, the picture, it's hard to see on the camera, but it's beautiful. It has a beautiful picture. I love this game. It's probably one of my favorite shooting games. If you see there's empty space here, I have gotten rid of Operation Wolf 3. I ended up selling that. Nobody was really playing that one, and I just hung on to Operation Wolf, the first one, and Thunderbolt. So these are both running flat screens. No, I'm sorry. This one's running a flat screen, the Thunderbolt. This one's running an original CRT, the Operation Wolf. I like both of those games. I'm having a few issues with Operation Wolf. I think the connections are dirty and they need to be cleaned up. So next to this is the only pinball I have right now, which is just Legends pinball. Nothing special, nothing fancy. It works all right. I mean, it is what it is for what it is, you know. Next to that, we have a Mr. Do. I completely restored this probably about 4 years ago. This cabinet was so bad that these are new sides. Both of these sides are new. Now, the funny thing is about these cabinets is that those sides are 1 inch thick. I believe this game originally came with black T-molding, but I wanted white, so I put white on it. Usually I try to stick with what's original, but I didn't in this case. But so the funny thing about these cabinets is this one, when I tore it apart, those sides were 2 layers of plywood. It was like a layer of 5/8 plywood, or maybe even 3/4 inch plywood. And then there was a thin veneer plywood on top of it. So I had to go back and repeat that same process in order to get it to the thickness that it needed to be, so it was at the proper thickness. But both sides are completely new. Everything in the center of this cabinet's original, including the back door. So I basically pried off one side at a time and replaced it. I made sure all the brackets went back on just like they were supposed to and everything. Turned out really nice. That's a pretty fun game as well. Looks like my colors might be off. My red might be a hair high. The white kind of has a little bit of a pinkish hue to it. So I probably should adjust that a little bit. Turn that red drive down a little bit. Okay, next to it is Neo Geo. You guys just saw me restore that recently. It's working really good. I do have a problem with player 2. Buttons aren't working correctly. I need to replace the micro switches. The micro switches are sticky, so we're going to get new ones in there. I have them, I just need to replace them. Next to that, we have an empty space for another game, and then we have Nintendo cabinet. This is running my original Nintendo from when I was a kid. I got it for Christmas, and I still have it to this day, and it's still working. This is the second arcade cabinet I ever built, and back then, you're talking 9 years ago, 10 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing, really. I mean, I just kind of came up with the design and went with it. But it works good, and I have a bunch of games down there and cartridges. You can swap them out. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be leaving. I don't know if I'll completely get rid of it or not, but I need the room because I have that Versus system, and it's a dual monitor one where they're side by side. So one side has Super Mario Brothers, the other side has Excite Bike. Uh-oh, something's breaking. Operation Wolf. Interesting. Never done that before. See what I mean? There's a corroded connection. Operation Wolf has that. There's like a board inside that takes wires from one side to the other. It's like it transfers them over, and it needs cleaned. So I'll get to that. And yes, my cat sits on top of the games. I don't really prefer it, but there's no way to stop him. So next to that, we have a Frogger. This is not an original cabinet. I remade this cabinet. And I've been debating because I have 2 cabinets outside that are both Carnival, and I was going to put this into the Carnival cabinet, but I think I'm just going to leave it alone. I did screw up when I made this cabinet. The monitor is laying too flat. It should be more of an angle, and I could probably pretty easily fix that. I just need to do it. It's just one of them things. It works, and I just haven't taken it apart, you know. Next, we have a space next to that where the banana's sitting. He's got a split in him right now. A local guy not too far from us used to do chainsaw carvings, and he would do those big 15-foot tall bears and stuff like that. Well, he did this banana for us, and we chose for him to not paint it, and we used fluorescent paint blacklight paint, so it reflects in the black light, and we put veins in his eyeballs and stuff. But it's pretty cool. People get a laugh out of that. I probably should caulk in this crack and touch it up, maybe one day. Okay, so next to Frogger, we have Silver Strike and Target Toss. Now, Target Toss is running the bags and lawn darts in that cabinet, and then Silver Strike is running X. I've said this before. We're going to take the Target Toss computer and put it in with the Silver Strike. We're going to use this cabinet and turn it into the PGA Tour cabinet. I talked about that last night on that PGA Tour pickup. Next to that, we have 2022 Golden Tee. It still says 2019 up top. I got to get a new marquee for that. Let's go this way. Need for Speed Underground. These are linked together, so they both work. You know, you can race each other. These have that card that Global VR made, so you can put the card in there and it saves your name and everything and what progress you're at on the game. And these cards also work on that PGA Tour golf. So, and then in here we have a set of linked California Speeds. California Speed is the first arcade game. No, I'm sorry. Second or third arcade game that I ever owned. I had bought one for like $100 and it didn't work. And it took me, I mean, we're talking, like I said, 9-10 years ago. And I remember trying to figure out how to get it to work. And it turned out to be a board issue. And the monitor was shot, and back then I knew nothing about CRTs, so I flat screened it, and then I couldn't get the converter board to work. Then I finally got it to work, and I was all excited because I had fixed my first game by myself pretty much. And then I ended up selling it, and I found a set of these. So I bought these. These are both running CRT monitors, and they're linked, so you get to play together. Then we have a set of road burners. Both of these monitors had went out at one point. I bought these with flat screens already in them from my buddy from Playport, and that's fine. I'm okay with having flat screens and stuff like this. You know, to me it's fine. Those 25 and 27 inch monitors are a bit much. Next to these three cabinets I built, these are going to be leaving. The Maximum Force is no longer Maximum Force. There's actually Carnival in there right now. So that's what's in that cabinet. Next to that, Sammy Sport Shooting is the first shooting game I ever owned. And it's another game I really like. Police Trainer's okay. Nobody really plays it. I think it's going to go. I don't think we're going to keep it. And I've been on the fence about making a multi-cade shooting game and running it off a computer and using the new style light guns and just putting a bunch of the shooting games on there for the kids when they come over to be able to play them. They can just pick what they want. And I might just go that route to save some room, because honestly, not a lot of people are playing the shooters anymore. People really like the driving games and stuff like that. Next to that, we have a Harley Davidson, all original. It's been running good. Next to that, we have a Route 66. This is one heavy game. Comes apart in two pieces, but it's a big one. I like this game. We beat it a couple times. Kept putting quarters in so you could beat it. But after so long, you'd run out of being able to continue. And here we have Pac-Man. This is all original. It's never been restored, never been touched. The cabinet's got a little bit of bumps and bruises, but you can see the wear on it and stuff like that. Next to that, we have Cubert, which you guys saw my restorations on this. Then we have Robotron, which this is an original cabinet that was completely restored. Stencils, it's painted on. We did print the R onto clear vinyl, put it on afterwards. I did clear coat it with a satin finish. This is running a J-Rock board right now. Right here, I have in these boxes a wiring harness. Turn the light on if it will turn on. Oh, the light doesn't want to turn on. These fluorescent lights down here are getting old. So in this box here, there is a wiring harness for Robotron, and underneath it is all the original boards. So I have everything to put Robotron to original. So I'm going to swap the J-Rock out and put that in there, because I'm going to use the J-Rock board on the Bubbles cabinet. So until I find a Bubbles PCB. Next to that, we have an original Joust. Never been touched, never been restored. It's in really good shape. A little bit of cracking on the edge of the control panel, not bad at all. I got this game for $100. The boards needed repaired. I sent them off and got them all repaired. They've been working really well for the past few years. So I haven't had any issues with them. Moon Patrol I'm having a little bit of an issue with. Every once in a while it gets a little funky and the sound goes a little weird. I need to check the chips for any corrosion or anything like that. Then next to that, I'm going to put probably Stargate. And then we have Sinistar, which the boards are repaired. He had just messaged me, I believe, yesterday and said that they were fixed. And they will be on their way back here shortly, so we'll be able to put them in and hopefully have Sinistar up and running. You've seen the previous videos on that, so there'll be one more video coming, and then that should finish that up. And then this is the Journey. This is the first restore I did on YouTube. This has been running really good. This is all original equipment except for the power supply. I am running a switching power supply and the adapter from Arcade Shop. Tron next to that. Now this Tron, the story on the Tron, I got this probably 5-6 years ago. I literally bought this game complete for $50. From here down, was completely rotted and gone. I had to strap the cabinet together with a ratchet strap to get it home. I drove 4 hours to get this thing. And when I picked it up, the guy had taken all the boards and wiring out and threw them in a plastic bin. And he said what happened was the basement started flooding, so he pulled all the electronics out of it and threw it in a plastic bin. And he told me that the game worked when he took it apart. And I didn't believe him. I'm like, there's no way. So I got it home, and it sat for probably a year and a half before I even restored it. I was just real busy at the time and didn't have a chance to do it. And I got the cabinet all done. I ordered the artwork from Phoenix Arcade, put it all together. I got the boards and everything, wiped them all down, cleaned them all up, put them all in, and it wouldn't work. Turned out the sense wire. I ended up unplugging the sense wire, and the game powered up. It worked, and it's worked ever since. I did have a problem with the amp board last year, and I fixed that. So as of right now, it's all running. And I rebuilt the original power supply. It is running on the original power supply. Above it are a set of Tron bikes that were 3D printed, once again, by my buddy. He did a really nice job on these. So they're just kind of, I put a little bit of double-sided tape up there because I didn't want them to fall off. But they're just sitting up there. Next to that, we have Tapper. You guys saw the restore on this. This is having a little bit of issues. I'm having a little bit of screen shake. And I don't know if that's caused by the switching power supply with the adapter that's put in here or what. I've tried a few different things, and then I just haven't had time to really mess with it much more. Next to that, we have Satan's Hollow, which I still got to do, go back into this one more time because it's not saving high scores. So when you turn the game off and back on, it's not saving the scores. Somebody had reached out to me and told me to test a few things. Oops. I turned on Zaxxon by leaning into it, but I haven't had a chance to get back into that yet. So I will get to that one of these days here. We always have a New Year's Eve party, usually a day or two before New Year's. So I got a lot to get done before New Year's. So next to that, we have a Centipede. I restored this several years ago, and I'm having a monitor problem. What it is I think one of the pots on the monitor, this is a newer style monitor with a remote board, and I think one of the pots are flaky or going bad, so I'm gonna have to change the pot. Because as soon as I go in there and I turn the pot a little bit, it's perfect, right back to the right color. So next to that, we have pole position. My marquee light's not on. Starter must be going bad. So I need to do that. And for some reason it keeps losing high scores. But I think the reason is I need to change how it's plugged in. So I will get to that as well. Kangaroo, I restored this one maybe 2 years ago. It's not on right now because I have a cold solder joint on the power board. Let me grab a key real quick and open up the coin door. And I'll bet you it'll come right on as soon as I wiggle it. It's one of the connectors that plug into the power board is it must have a cold solder joint. So let me open this coin door here. And I'll come down here and reach into there, see if I can do it. without a flashlight. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it or not. One second, guys. Just want to see if it comes on. There's the power supply. Yeah, it's probably not going to come on right now, but that's okay. I'll get that fixed. Okay, so that's Kangaroo. It does work. Just a stupid connection. Next to that, we have Dig Dug, which I made a video on repairing this, redoing this rather. This was a Kangaroo cabinet, and I converted it to a Dig Dug. If you guys remember on the video, I put new sides on it because the sides were completely rotted and swollen up. So that's been running really well. A little bit of screen burn from a different game, but it's not too bad. Next to across from that, we have I don't know what the cat's doing up there. Oh, he's chasing the little lights. We have Zookeeper. This is an original Zookeeper. This cabinet came from Arcade Jason. A couple years ago, I bought it from him. I did quite a bit of woodworking to it to fix it up. It was pretty rough. That's a new control panel because the one that was in there was literally had like 30 holes drilled in it. That is running a J-Rock board currently. All the original boards are in the back of the cabinet, but they're not currently working, and I can't seem to find anybody that can fix them right now. So that's just running on J-Rock right now. Elevator action next to that. Once again, this is an original elevator action cabinet. It's running all original hardware inside it. It's been running really well. Next to that, we have a Rockola Jump Bug, which is running all original hardware and everything. It's running really well. I'm going to put Nibbler next to it when we get to restore Nibbler. So that'll be pretty cool to have that green Nibbler cabinet next to this blue Jump Bug cabinet. I think that'll look cool. Now the Nibbler cabinet is blue right now, so it could have been a Jump Bug, but I'm pretty confident it was a what's that other cabinet that they made was blue? Warp maybe? Was that blue? Or there was something, I can't think right now. But anyways, that's an original Jump Bug cabinet. I laminated the sides on it with vertical grade white laminate. I also did track and field. I laminated it with vertical grade laminate, and I screwed up on the one side. It's the other side. There's a bulge coming out on the laminate. I'm gonna have to pull the laminate off and relaminate it. It must not have, I must have not put enough glue in one spot. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Track and field's running good. I'm getting kind of old to play it. My hands cramp up from playing that. Next to that, I built this Atari cabinet. There's some more 3D printing my buddy did. He made that Atari up there. This has a bunch of games on it from Atari 2600. I made it try to look at like an original like 2600 console, the control panel and stuff. So if you come down here, once again, I put buttons in here. So if you go here, you see it says last played, and then you can scroll down here and it has the games on it. And I had him as Wizard of War. I had him put most of the games on here that I played as a kid on the 2600. Oh, I remember this bowling game. But so that's pretty cool to be able to just play some 2600 games. All right, so next to this is a Cuphead. Joe Zabo did the computer for it and the artwork. I built the cabinet. It's out of 3/4 inch wood. Obviously, it's fatter than it should be. But I built the cabinet. I put an aftermarket coin door on it from Arcade Shop. Kids really like that game. I suck at it. Next to that, we have a FixIt Felix. I hit Frogger button. We have a FixIt Felix, and I built this cabinet as well. And it's running on a computer and a flat screen on that one. I should have probably put a CRT in it, but I didn't. Dr. Mario is another cabinet I built. So these 3 Nintendo cabinets over here I did build. Then we have an original Donkey Kong Jr. I restored that a few years ago. That's running pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it. Like I said, I'm trying to put high score saves on almost everything that I have. Popeye, that you saw me restore this on a video. My buddy gave me this Popeye. It's pretty cool. And here's some more stuff that he 3D printed. He made all this stuff over here. Mario he did not make, I bought that. He made the hammer here. Cat's trying to attack me. He did these cup heads. He painted them. He printed them all, I believe, just with white or something like that. And then he ended up hand painting them all. They turned out awesome. Original Nintendo box. There's nothing in it, but it's the original box for the Nintendo. And the cat's trying to attack me now. We have this sign. I'm going to have to move it. It's kind of bent, or I'm going to move the game or whatever I got to do. Let me see if there's anything else really. There are probably about another 15 games I'm going to bring down here. I don't even know where I'm going to put them all yet. This fireplace is getting moved. The fireplace is going into the bar. This will be opened up. This will be squared off. So there'll be a couple more games that are going to go here. I'm going to eliminate the closet back here. And I'm going to shove the racing games 4 or 5 feet that way because it's like a 5-foot deep closet. And then this wall over here, I'm going to move it 4 feet that way so that I can move those games that way. And then I'm going to be able to put the row of games along this wall here because this wall right here is going to get moved. So, and then I should be able to put more in the center here. So I should be able to fit them all. But there's quite a few games going on. In the bar, we have an iTouch, which I really like this one. It's a retro one. Let me see if it'll turn it on real quick here, if I can reach the switch. I really like this one. It has the colors that go around the screen and everything. I don't know how long this one takes to boot up. I forget. I got a light out on one of my arrow buttons. I need to change the LED bulb in there. But people love this game. A lot of people play it. I think there's like 150 some games on here. We'll let that load up for a minute. Let's go in the back here. It's a little messy, but I'll show you some parts I got. Okay, so let me explain what I'm doing with Paperboy here. Let me show you what I have so far. Don't mind the mess. These are arcade parts sitting in the gym. We should be using the gym. In here, I have a wiring harness. This is a wiring harness for Championship Sprint with the power supply and a control panel which needs some work. It's got some rusted out right here, so we need to fix this up, which we'll get that fixed up. We'll weld it together, whatever we got to do. But supposedly Championship Sprite wiring harness will work as long as you use the right power supply for Championship Sprite. I guess you could take the Paperboy boards and put them in a Championship Sprite cabinet. That's how they made it. So hopefully that'll take care of that. We have the audio board right here for it. This is actually a reproduction one for Paperboy. Here's the Paperboy, the 2 circuit boards for it. I have this adapter wire that goes from the Championship Sprite to the Paperboy control panel. So that will convert it so it'll work right. And then I have, this is an actual aftermarket set of handlebars. They're all re-chromed and everything. It has everything that goes with it. It even has the blue handle grips. Everything's new. So it should run good. It's the wiring harness for it. And then what I'm going to do is I do not have a medium res monitor. I have not been able to find one anywhere. So for the time being, until I find one, I will find one day. This is a 19-inch CRT computer monitor. I'm going to put this 19-inch CRT computer monitor onto a frame. That's not the right frame, but I am going to put it onto an arcade frame. And then I'm just going to use a converter board from now. So I'm going to convert it from the wiring in the cabinet to VGA. And then we'll plug it into this monitor. I know it's not correct, but at least it's a CRT monitor. I don't know how well it's going to look yet, but it is how, I mean, it's better than putting a flat screen in there. And then eventually when I find a monitor, we'll change it out. Over here, I have the control panel has been done for Stargate for a while. So I need to, that's next on the list to get done. Right here, this is the Nibbler board set for Nibbler. Underneath it is a Versus board. Underneath that is a Burger Time. That Burger Time board is not a real one. That's not a real one, but I do have a real one for Burger Time. I don't know what board this is. Maybe this is the Burger Time board. I don't remember. I have to look at it. But there's parts everywhere. These are extra Gorf boards. This is a bunch of artwork. Burger Time marquee. We got bubbles. We have Nibbler art. I have Carnival art. This is my control panel for the Tempest. I'm still waiting on the monitor to come back from Tempest. I have everything but the art kit for Tempest, I believe. This is the Scramble control panel. This is the original control panel. I had bought a brand new control panel, and it's metal and everything. And I got it from, these are the Tempest boards. I got the new control panel from Phoenix Arcade, and I don't think it was that expensive. I think it was less than $100, or maybe it was $100. I don't remember. I'm trying to look where the heck I put it. I have so many parts everywhere. I don't know where I put it. I'll have to see if I can't find that. But there's an extra power supply for a Gorf down there. There's a isolation transformer stuff for the Gorf. There's a power supply for Gorf. I have a bunch of Gorf parts. Here's a power supply. I think this might be a Burger Time one or another. You know, that's probably another MCR one. Over here we have a couple boxes of stencils. One of them is for bubbles, which I don't think I'm going to end up using. Another one is Scramble. And then there's another set of for Stargate stencils. So that's what I have back here for parts. This is that board that I'm selling. Can't think of what it is. I don't know what it is. Let's see if, okay, so the iTouch is up and running. So yeah, you can select whatever games you want. You know, there's just a list of games. But this is awesome, and I love the retro look with the multi-lighting and stuff. So basically the bar down here, you see how there's all this wood on here, and I made the raised panel ceilings and everything. Now these raised panel ceilings, these panels lift up, just like a drop ceiling does in a regular basement. So if you need to get up there. Now the way that this room is with all this wood and everything, the whole basement is getting done this way, and I'm gonna try to accomplish it before the end of the year. So we'll see how that works out. So that involves me putting ceiling in here and all the walls, and then I gotta rip all this ceiling down, do all that, and then I wanna rip these couple walls down. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this episode of the arcade tour. And there'll be another one at the end of the year once I do a bunch of remodeling down here. And we're going to get rid of this carpet tiles. We're going to put down a glued down vinyl floor planks, because I was going to put floating planks down here, but these games really tear these floors up. And I think the glued down vinyl is going to be the way to go, because it's just going to be permanently glued to the floor, and I don't have to worry about it buckling or anything like that. Now look at Centipede. Colors are back to normal. It's got to be that pot. That pot's just got to get replaced. I'm going to have to get in there and see what pot I need to order for that. So, all right, guys, that's going to end this video. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, please like, subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Oh, and a couple people have asked me, what does this do to my electric bill? These games don't get run a lot. They get run a couple times a month. And when they get run, they're only run for a couple hours. The longest that these games are ever run is when we have a party. They'll probably run for 6 to 8 hours straight. Other than that, they don't run as much. They do get turned on a few times a month, even if nobody's down here playing, because some of these games are running on batteries and stuff like that. And it seems like if you leave these games off for a couple months, then you start running into problems and stuff starts not working and stuff like that. But I have a few games that I need to get fixed and a whole lot of remodeling to do. And I want to get a couple more games restored this year before the end of the year. So it's going to be a busy next couple months here, guys. So hopefully you guys stick around and I get you guys to like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Once again though, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I will see you guys later.